So we're on to Daredevil Season 2 now. This one has a little bit of hype surrounding it because of how good Season 1 was and how really good Jessica Jones Season 1 was. So why wouldn't this have any hype surrounding it, honestly? Well, let's talk about it. Daredevil Season 2 picks up a little while after Season 1. And it continues the adventures of Matt Murdock, aka Daredevil. And it tells the story of him dealing with this new person who is a vigilante, who is killing people. Then about halfway through the season, it shifts over to a whole different story dealing with his past girlfriend Elektra and the mysterious organization known as the Hand. I'm gonna go into my positives first. Charlie Cox continues to shine as Matt Murdock. If there's anyone that I did not think was gonna be a great Daredevil that ended up proving me completely wrong, it's Charlie Cox. He's great in this role. I haven't seen him in anything else, so this is the only thing I have seen him in, and he's really good. And then Jon Bernthal as the Punisher, I think, after rewatching it, tops every single other Punisher that we've had on screen. And I think the first half of this season is my favorite part, and I think the first half of this season is better than Season 1 overall. Now let's get into the negatives. About halfway through the season, there's a huge story shift, and it's very jarring. Like, it is not really... The transition is not very well done. Like, both of the storylines are really well done, even though I don't really like the secondary story as much as I like the primary story. Like, I like the stuff with the Punisher more than I like the stuff with the Hand. I get it that the Hand stuff is setting up the Defenders and other stuff, Iron Fist, but it just feels a little unfocused to me. I feel like Season 1 was very, very focused. It had its main story. It was the origin story and the Kingpin. That was it. This season, you have the first half, you're locked into the whole Punisher story, and then, you know, about halfway through, it just basically drops the Punisher story. Not completely, but for the most part, it just kind of drops his story, and it picks up this whole Elektra Hand story. I didn't really like the transition. I think if they had kind of weaved it together a little bit more and made it a little more clean, it would have been better. Because as it stands, it feels like they just had two different story ideas, and they just concluded one, and then they were like, oh, well, we still have a whole nother half of the season to do. Let's smack this other idea on there, and then we'll have the Punisher come back at the end. And we'll close his story out at the end of the season, but kind of just have him do nothing for most of the rest. I didn't really like that much. I kind of wish they had done it where, like, it's happening, like, kind of concurrently. So while Matt is dealing with this stuff with Elektra coming back and the Hand, he's also dealing with the Punisher popping up. And the stories kind of just intercut, like maybe have 1 or 2 episodes focused on the Punisher, then an episode or 2 focused on the Hand, then back to the Punisher, then back to the Hand. do it that way so that the stories feel a little more, I guess just make it a little bit cleaner. The supporting cast still does a great job. You have Eldon Henson as Foggy. Again, he's great. You have, I forget the actress's name, but Karen Page, she's really good. Vincent D'Onofrio pops in as the Kingpin again. Stick is back. Stick was one of my favorite characters in Season 1, who was like a minor part. I didn't really talk about it in my review of Season 1, just because it's such a small part. I didn't want to, like, really talk about it all that much, but I definitely thought Stick was great in this season as well. And I guess this season kind of suffers from the same thing that Iron Man 2 suffers from. Trying to tell its own story and set up the crossover at the same time. And it worked in this movie about as well as it worked in Iron Man 2. Because clearly, you have the stuff that is just Daredevil Season 2, which is the stuff with the Punisher. And then you have the stuff that is clearly kind of trying to set up for what's going on in the Defenders with Elektra and the Hand. And so it does kind of... it just doesn't really mesh that well together. I just wish they had kind of either figured out a better way to do it, or just focus on one story or the other, because both stories are good ideas, and they're both executed really well. It's just that if you weren't gonna do it in a way where it feels like it flows very well and it works, then I would rather they had just picked one or the other. Like, either do the Punisher storyline and cut out the stuff with the Hand, or cut out the stuff with the Punisher and just do the stuff with the Hand. One or the other would have been much better, and it probably would have made for a much more focused season. And it probably would have made the whole season as a whole better than Season 1 of Daredevil. As a whole, I think both portions of the season are better than Season 1. It's just when you put them together and call that Season 2, it doesn't feel as streamlined or focused as Season 1, so I still have to say I think Season 1 is better. And it's really weird to kind of describe that, because it's like, you have these two parts of the season. Both parts on their own are better than Season 1, but when you put them together, it's not better. I find that kind of weird. But either way, I still think this season is still a really solid season. I wish the two stories were weaved together better. I still can't wait for the Defenders. This season definitely got me hyped for the Defenders, and it's going to be nice to see Daredevil again, because, I mean, it's been like maybe over a year since we've had anything new from Daredevil. So it's, you know, it's earned. I mean, I was gonna say, I thought there was like every year there's a new season of Daredevil first, then another, but then I was thinking, well, no, that was last year with Luke Cage, and then this year it was Iron Fist first, and then that. But either way, I'm going to give the Daredevil Season 2 a B+. Thank you guys for watching this video. Let me know in the comments what you think of Daredevil Season 2, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye.